Before you even think about trying anal sex, here's something most people don't know, and it's the reason so many first-time experiences go wrong. Several large studies, including research published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine and data from the CDC's National Survey of Sexual Health and Behavior, show that the majority of injuries, pain, and infections linked to anal sex come from one thing: people doing it without proper preparation or understanding how the body actually works. And here's the part that surprises most couples. Those same studies show that when people follow medically recommended steps like communication, lubrication, and gradual entry, the risks drop dramatically and satisfaction rates go way up. So before you put yourself or your partner at risk, let's break down what the science really says about safe anal sex, because the difference between a positive experience and a harmful one often comes down to a few essential medical principles you've never been taught. What is anal sex? Anal sex refers to the insertion of a penis, finger, or properly designed sex toy into the anus of a partner. Medically, it's important to understand that the anus is not the same as the vagina. The tissue, the muscles, and the way the area responds to pressure are all very different. The anus is surrounded by two circular muscles known as the internal and external anal sphincters, which normally stay tightly closed to maintain bowel control. Because of this natural tightness, anal penetration requires patience, preparation, and lubrication to be safe. People choose to engage in anal sex for many different reasons. Some find the sensation pleasurable due to the high concentration of nerve endings in the anal region. Others view it as an intimate, trust-based act within a relationship. Some are curious, others enjoy the novelty or variety, and a portion of couples explore it simply as part of their sexual connection. Surveys from the National Survey of Family Growth and the Journal of Sexual Medicine show that anal sex is far more common than most people assume, particularly among younger heterosexual couples. And from a medical standpoint, it's crucial to emphasize this. Anal sex can be safe, enjoyable, and healthy, but only when done with proper communication, adequate lubrication, and respect for the body's limits. Without that foundation, the risk of injury and discomfort rises significantly. History and cultural background. While many people think anal sex is a modern trend, historical evidence tells a very different story. In fact, depictions of anal intercourse appear across multiple cultures dating back thousands of years. Archaeologists have found detailed illustrations on pre-Columbian Peruvian pottery from around 300 AD, showing couples engaging in a variety of intimate acts, including anal sex. These artifacts weren't created as pornography. They often symbolized fertility, relationships, or even spiritual beliefs about the human body. Similar imagery appeared later in Chinese hand scrolls and artwork from the 16th to 19th centuries, reflecting how sexuality in many cultures was viewed more openly than people assume today. By the time we reach the 19th and early 20th centuries, French lithographs and early photography also included depictions of anal intercourse, especially within artistic and erotic communities. The takeaway is simple. Anal sex isn't new, strange, or something only certain people do. It has been part of human sexual expression for centuries across different continents and cultures. The reason this matters is because understanding the long history helps reduce shame and stigma. When people see that this behavior has existed for thousands of years, it becomes easier to talk about it honestly and, more importantly, to learn how to do it safely. Is anal sex safe? So, is anal sex actually safe? From a medical standpoint, the answer is yes. It can be very safe, but only when it's done thoughtfully and with proper precautions. Unlike the vagina, which naturally lubricates and stretches, the anus does not produce its own lubrication and is lined with much more delicate tissue. The rectal mucosa is thin, fragile, and not designed for friction. That's why research published in the American Journal of Gastroenterology and Sexual Health Studies from the CDC consistently show that most complications occur when anal sex is rushed, dry, or done without communication. When the right steps are followed, though, adequate lubrication, gentle pacing, and ensuring both partners are fully comfortable, the risk of injury decreases dramatically. In fact, studies in the Journal of Sexual Medicine indicate that individuals who use proper lubrication and communicate throughout the process report significantly less pain and far higher satisfaction compared to those who don't. However, safety also involves understanding the risk of sexually transmitted infections. Because the rectal lining can tear more easily, unprotected anal sex carries a higher transmission risk for infections like HIV, HPV, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis. This doesn't mean anal sex is dangerous. It simply means protection and preparation matter more here than in almost any other type of sexual activity. When done correctly, anal sex can be safe, comfortable, and a fully valid part of a consensual relationship. Essential safety principles, consent, and communication. Before anything else, the foundation of safe anal sex is clear, confident, and ongoing consent. This doesn't just mean a verbal yes at the start. It means both partners feel comfortable, informed, and genuinely willing throughout the entire experience. Research in sexual health psychology, including work published in the Journal of Sex Research, show that couples who communicate openly before and during anal intercourse experience significantly lower rates of pain, anxiety, and unintentional injury. Communication begins before anything physical happens. Discuss what you're both comfortable with, what you're not, and what signals either of you can use to slow down or stop. But remember, not all communication is verbal. Body language is often your most accurate guide. If you notice tensing, pulling away, holding breath, or any sign of discomfort, those are cues to pause immediately. No pressure, no pushing forward, no assumptions. It's also important to understand that the anal sphincter is a reflexive muscle group. When a person feels tense, anxious, or unprepared, the muscles tighten automatically. That makes penetration uncomfortable and increases the chance of tearing. Calm communication, slow introduction of touch, and allowing the body to relax are essential for safety. Your partner must never feel rushed or obligated. If someone feels even slightly pressured, the experience becomes unsafe by default, both physically and emotionally. When done with mutual respect and clear communication, you create the conditions for a comfortable, controlled, and safe experience for both partners. Lubrication: why it matters and how to use it. One of the most important and most overlooked parts of safe anal sex is proper lubrication. Unlike the vagina, the anus does not create its own natural moisture. That means any friction during penetration is happening directly against thin, delicate tissue. Medical research published in the International Journal of STD and AIDS shows that a lack of lubrication is one of the top contributors to tearing, pain, and STI transmission during anal intercourse. So, what kind of lube is safest? 1. Water-based lubricants. These are the most commonly recommended for anal sex because they're compatible with condoms, gentle on tissue, and designed to match the pH of the anal canal. However, water-based lubes can dry out faster, which means you may need to reapply during longer sessions. 2. Silicone-based lubricants. Silicone lubes last longer and provide a smoother glide, making them helpful for beginners or anyone prone to discomfort. They're safe with condoms, but should not be used with some silicone toys as they can degrade the material. 3. Oil-based lubricants. Oil-based options offer excellent slickness, but they should not be used with latex condoms because they weaken the material and increase breakage risk. They also require more thorough cleaning and may not be ideal for people with sensitive skin. The bottom line: no matter which type you choose, liberal application and reapplication are essential. Generous lubrication reduces friction, lowers the risk of micro tears, and makes the experience far safer and more comfortable for both partners. Condom use for anal sex, protecting against STIs. A common question people ask is, why would I need a condom for anal sex if there's no risk of pregnancy? From a medical perspective, the reason is very clear. The thin lining of the rectum is far more delicate than vaginal tissue, which means it's more prone to tiny tears, even when everything is done correctly. Studies from the CDC and research published in the Journal of Infectious Diseases consistently show that unprotected anal intercourse carries the highest risk of sexual transmission for infections like HIV, HPV, syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia. This doesn't mean anal sex is dangerous. It simply means that protection matters more here than almost anywhere else. Why condoms are essential? The rectal mucosa can tear easily, allowing direct contact with bodily fluids. Because there's no natural lubrication, friction increases without added lube, raising STI risk. Condoms create a physical barrier that dramatically lowers transmission probability. The only FDA-approved condom for anal sex. In recent years, the FDA approved a specific condom designed and tested for anal intercourse. While standard condoms also offer strong protection, having an FDA-approved option provides an extra layer of reassurance for couples looking for the safest possible practice. Don't forget oral anal safety. For oral anal contact, a dental dam is recommended to reduce the risk of transferring bacteria or viruses. Important rule: anal to vaginal equals new condom. If penetration moves from anal to vaginal, always change the condom first. This prevents harmful bacteria from entering the vagina and significantly reduces infection risk. Toys and beginner techniques. For many couples, especially those who are new to anal play, starting with smaller objects is not only more comfortable, it's medically safer. The anal sphincter is a tight, circular muscle group that needs time to relax. Introducing gradual, gentle stimulation allows the body to adapt without strain, which reduces the risk of pain or injury. Starting small, the safest approach. A lubricated finger or a small beginner-friendly toy can help the sphincter muscles relax. Medical reviews on pelvic floor function show that slow, progressive dilation is far safer than attempting full penetration right away. This is why professionals often recommend starting with smaller sizes before moving to anything larger. Choosing the right toy. Only use toys specifically designed for anal play. These are easy to identify because they have a flared base, a ring, handle, or retrieval loop, a shape that prevents the toy from going too far inside. This is important because the rectum has strong muscular contractions and a natural suction effect. Without a flared base, objects can become lodged internally, and yes, this is a common emergency scenario. Types of safe anal toys include butt plugs, anal beads, dildos made for anal insertion with a secure base. Cleanliness matters. After using any toy, always wash and sanitize it before the next use. This prevents transferring bacteria and reduces infections. Using proper toys, starting gradually, and respecting your body's limits makes anal exploration significantly safer and more comfortable. When to stop: pain, bleeding, and injury risks. One of the most important safety principles in anal sex is learning to recognize when to stop immediately. Pain is not something to push through. In fact, studies in colorectal and pelvic floor medicine show that the anal sphincter tightens reflexively when a person feels anxious, pressured, or uncomfortable. Forcing penetration against a tightening sphincter significantly increases the risk of tearing, bleeding, and muscle injury. When pain is a warning sign. Mild pressure or stretching sensations can be normal when the body is adjusting, but sharp pain, burning, or a sudden increase in discomfort are signs to pause right away. Continuing can cause micro tears in the fragile rectal lining, which can lead to infection or increased STI risk. Bleeding: what's normal and what's not. A tiny spot of blood on the condom or toilet tissue can occasionally occur, especially for beginners. But persistent bleeding, continuous pain, or difficulty controlling bowel movements afterward is not normal. These symptoms require medical evaluation. The rare but real risk of sphincter injury. Severe injuries are uncommon, but they do happen, particularly when penetration is forced, there's inadequate lubrication, the body isn't relaxed or ready, objects without flared bases get stuck. Damage to the anal sphincter can lead to fecal incontinence, difficulty controlling stool, which sometimes requires medical or surgical treatment. The bottom line: if something feels wrong, painful, or unsafe, stop immediately. Rest, communicate, and reassess. Safe anal sex is always slow, well lubricated, and responsive to your body's signals. At this point, the most important takeaway is simple. Anal sex can be safe, comfortable, and completely normal when it's approached with patience, preparation, and mutual respect. Nothing about this topic should feel embarrassing or off limits. The more informed you are, the better decisions you can make for your health and your relationship. If you found this breakdown helpful, informative, and empowering, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more urologist-backed, judgment-free education on sexual health, confidence, and overall well-being. Your health matters, and staying informed is one of the best ways to protect it.